Hello everyone and welcome back to the Spearhead cast. With me, Matt. We have a very interesting 4v4 here on a map called German Supply Meatgrinder, which seems to be a very big custom map with a lot of height differences. I'm not sure that's going to turn out for Spearhead of all things, but I suppose we'll find out. It's on the Western Front today. Let's go through the players. Let's start with the Germans today. Representing the Waffen-SS here, we have Macro straight again with Jäger tactics. We have Arranged Karma as Leichte Division for die Wehrmacht. We have Scented Black Cherries, also as the Waffen-SS without a commander choice. And finally, Boru Tambaqui. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but they're playing as Panzer Division for die Wehrmacht. Representing the Allies today. So they're starting off in the fortified position here. We have Captain Curry as the United States without a commander choice. We have Kikurung, also the United States without a commander choice. We have Serenity, also the United States without a commander choice. And finally, we're finishing off also the United States, we have Cax. We start again with Ranger Company. Starting with some demo teams immediately, that should be interesting. This is an intriguing looking map, very interesting. There's even a reinforced point here if you actually capture these. You can actually start getting troops in from the side. A lot of intriguing little setups here. This is definitely very big into custom map territory. Like, look how it looks and everything. Certainly an interesting map, so we'll see how the battle turns out and everything. Americans are just slowly spreading out and capturing some ground. Germans are doing much the same. Germans have managed to move up pretty far here on this flank. So they might be going for this early extra attack point, so they can get more reinforcements in. First shots are being fired here, so we echelon move up towards the Pioneers. Pioneers I don't think want that engagement, at least not yet. We have some folks going to get back here in reserve. Americans are pushed far enough on the other flank. Looks like Captain Curry has also gone for Ranger. Ranger is very popular. Ranger is very good at stuff. No Comanches for the Central Americans. Lots of American riflemen and re-echelon are reaching the front lines. Germans can now get reinforcements from here. Let's set up a sandbag there, but they might get flanked here now by the American riflemen. That's gonna be a problem. And there's like this big mountain in the middle here. I'm not even sure how you get up there. Oh, you do. You get up around here in the center. And then get down. Okay, that's an intriguing looking place. Looks like the Sturm Pioneers have been forced back by all the American riflemen. Will the Sturm Pioneer make it? Looks like he will. Lucky for him. Quick Kugelwagen driving up here the road as Sturm Grenadiers are arriving. And some Volksgrenadier as well. Also, the American riflemen have issues getting around this corner here because the Germans just keep an eye on it. That's going to be a very hard point to get through. Both sides want to take the point so they can get troops from here, but that's actually a death sentence, I think. Because we like have a machine gun here, you can just shoot anything that comes in. Speaking of machine guns, the Germans have actually set one up down here, an MG-34. It's going to help them a lot, they can just get troops from here if they want to use their rally points. Pick up going out for one of the SS players. Definitely an intriguing 4v4 map. Oh, we do have Vertical arriving here, but he needs to set up not out in the open, I think. Needs to be very, very cautious. Oh, there's a little bush here. Do they think that'll be enough, though? First, we'll find out. But currently, it's going to be able to open up fire on these Volksgrenadiers, at least most of them. Only one guy left. Meanwhile, the Germans are trying to push up in the American Rangers down here. Kugelwagen is providing a lot of suppressive fire. Ooh, there's actually no retreat point down here, so you have to retreat this way around. Oh, that's going to be a safe sentence for some of the Americans. That's a very bad position to be in. But looks like the Americans are only going to lose one rifleman squad here. Which is better than it could have been. Yeah, well, the Grenadiers and Volksgrenadiers are pushing up. 30 caliber is trying to set up out in the open, which is not a good idea. Kugelwagen is trying to get close. Machine gun opens fire on it. Killing the gunner. But now the Grenadiers and Volksgrenadiers can just open fire on the machine gun team. Gonna try and make a run for it. I don't think they'll make it. Nope. Too much firepower coming their way. So the Americans are sticking in here with several 30 calibers. Another 30 caliber up here. I guess there's Tiki Pioneers waiting here for Gebaldeladung whenever it's needed. But the Germans still have the southern flank here, which is definitely going to give them the upper hand for a while, I think. Oh, we do have a double observation post in the United States, so they're gonna get some more manpower than the Germans can afford. We also have a fuel point going up, fuel cache going up over here. But currently, the Americans hold none of the fuel points. So there's double fuel points on the southern flank and double munitions point on the northern flank. We've had the American mortar arriving, which will certainly put some pressure. Oh, we have Sturm picked here for Scented Black Cherries. Generally a good choice in team games, I mean. You can get access to artillery and the Sturm Tiger in the late game. We have an American Jeep here with a 30 caliber on top. Like this Kikung has gone for mechanized, I think. Oh, tank destroyer, never mind. And then we have Serenity with rifle. Okay, so we have 2 Rangers, a rifle, and tank destroyer. That's definitely a decent mix in the United States. We do have an American recon team as well, giving the allies some idea of what's going on here. Need to be cautious with their movements though. They don't want to get too close. We just want to get into a position over here and stay still, I think. This MG-34 is definitely getting some good shots out. And the Germans are slowly pushing up on the Americans here. There's not a lot of Americans to hold, and as you can see, the height difference doesn't matter, as the bullets just phase through the ground here. So that up-high position is actually not even gonna matter at all. Panzer team here present. But the Americans have lost a lot of stuff here in the center. Or the southern flank, rather. I don't think the Americans can hold this open ground that easily. Up here, there's a lot more fighting going on. Needs to get those mortars to fire a lot better.
Lieutenant has been assigned to field ops.
Not the easiest to do. What side do the Americans actually have? Not a lot, because this is actually a side block of the recon team is behind. Or recon team, rather. There's some Valonians on the field here with some Sturmgewehr. Cheaper infantry you can get if you're playing a Sturm Tactics.
Go ahead.
Keep out here in the open against a lot of Sturm Grenadiers. Probably doesn't want that fight. But Germans have definitely cut very deep into the American lines. The Germans cannot be pushing for the infantry here either. You have double mortar now. A 60mm as well as an 81mm. I was thinking we have a second 60mm on the way. Yes, we do. That's a lot of small but rapid mortar fire coming in. They're trying to take out that machine gun, obviously. Oh, the machine gun's running. That's probably the opening the Americans were waiting for. They could push up very aggressively now if they want. Germans are getting up with an MG-42 though. Sturmgrenadiers out in the open, has to get away. But Germans are setting up quite a lot of fortifications and digging in around this part of the map. Along this large road. Looks like the recon team is not stealthed at the moment. There must be someone that spotted them. What? Well, they might have opened fire. Anyway, they're hitting again. We have a 60mm mortar coming up here. And the 60mm mortar is actually good in close quarters combat, because it fires a lot regularly when you're in this range. And it's pretty decent if the enemy is just, you know, in this kind of situation where there's a lot of side blockers, or fire blockers rather. Because they'll just start putting a lot of firepower in if you can get sighting the target. They are trying there. They're not really getting any kills though. They are getting closer. There we go, that's a good shot right there. But you can see the shells just keep landing. Oh yeah, there we go, that's some good ones on the machine gun. I don't think the Germans want to stay around here for too long. Looks like the Jeep does go down. And the German mortar's doing its best here to counter barrage in some capacity. But both sides will also have their gear basically being auto-repaired thanks to this station here. Seems to provide a zone-wide or neighboring zone aura for equipment. Oh, here comes the Americans. They're gonna do a big push here with Echelon, equipped with M1 Garand, some BARs, some flamethrowers, and even a rifleman with a Springfield sniper rifle. I don't think the demo team should lead the way though. They're gonna be quite vulnerable out in the open like that. That's a lot. This is entirely negative cover. No wonder it's a suicide to try and take the point. Looks like the Americans will take it though with some No, wait, they gave up. But the mortar shells keep arriving, and we also have a Panzer II arriving here. Panzer II command tank. Gonna apply some pressure with its auto cannon. Not a lot of movement on the other flank, but the Americans have geared up a defense. In around with an AT gun. Half track arriving as well with some rangers. Lots of rangers are now being geared up here. Guess we might see some rangers leading the way potentially. Mortars are firing.
Anti-tank gun, ready for action.
Digging in here with the blue and gray. Some cheaper riflemen around you can get if you're playing as a rifle company. Also, we also have the normal rifleman armed with 30 calibers, the unique weapon if you're playing as rifle company. Actually, one of the best light machine guns you can get in the unit because I believe it fires 250 rounds before it has to reload. It's absolutely nuts. They're all clumped up though. But the Germans are oh, the Panther II's not firing. It's trying to call in artillery instead. It is landing around there though. Ooh, now the Panther II is firing, and it's already killing clumps of them, but it's also cannon. Americans have managed to secure the point though, but I don't think it's that good of a thing to have. Because any unit that arrives here is just going to get mowed down as it arrives. Panther II is moving up. There's a lack of American AT equipment. And the Panther II is making good use of that. We also have some armored car coming up, a 222. The Americans have no AT. Yeah, man, AT gun is taking too long to get here. And you also can see us tearing through the American lines. Even the recon team is going to die here because the... Oh wait, the X-Men's get out of range. AT gun's almost there. But they've done so much damage already. But the German infantry is not really moving up behind. Ooh, that AT gun could actually be in trouble. We do have a tank on the team. Missed.
Weapon rack is now accessible.
They do manage to get one shot off on the Panzer II. Panzer II is down. The Panzer II probably has to decide it has to fall back. As soon as he misses again, more artillery being called in. Given an AT gun arriving here. Hangars are trying to take the chance to move up while it's calling in artillery. It takes a while to fire a rocket-based anti-tank weapon, as you can see. Out in the open, they just get mowed down. It's not looking good here. Rangers are arriving from up here now, actually. AT gun does take out the Panzer II. Americans are trying to make a comeback here. Think of a fighting position. That'll be very static fighting, evidently. I completely missed the engagement down here, as we can see. We have some Panzergrenadiers with an MG-44 and a Panzerbüchse arriving. Germans digging very heavily in. Flak guns and everything, and roadblocks. They're going to deny all of this terrain here to the Americans. That's going to be very difficult to advance up upon. We have a Stuart arriving. There's a Pack 40 though. Doesn't penetrate. But there's a flak, and it's a heavy one. Trying to fire high... Oh, he's using canister shots. Bit immobilized though. Another Stuart arriving. But he gets taken out immediately. Yeah, this big flag is definitely going to provide a lot of protection. Are Germans going to try and scavenge to steal this one? They're moving up to the point. But the machine gun is going to cut that short. And the Americans getting a lot more presence here again, especially with that truck. The 30 caliber is doing a lot of work. One more Stuarts are going to be arriving, but they're just going to arrive in the line of fire, that pack. I guess just a killing field there. Oh, smoke grenade might actually help protect the Stuart there. But Germans are going to be able to decapture the point soon, I think. And with that decapture, that's going to prevent the Americans from getting more units arriving here for now. Pineapples being exchanged. At least one being thrown, anyway. We also have some Storm Grenadiers with the MG30 here, as you can see with the icon. Lots of firefights continue up here. Blue and Grey are being thrown into a Meatgrinder. Being told to throw smoke grenades as they can capture the point on the fire. But this flag is definitely going to be a problem. Panzer 4G arriving as well. Artillery being called in too. Targets just driving forwards. Waving from the pack. Oh, all the Americans in the truck died to the flag.
We can now dispatch WC-51 trucks.
Well, the Americans have geared up a lot of Stuarts here. You might see a light tank assault. Germans still holding on down here. We have a recon team trying to keep an eye on what the Germans are doing. Lots of officers have arrived and just keeping an eye on stuff. Now, the Jaegers aren't really doing much but just digging in here and holding. Which I suppose is giving the Germans the fuel advantage. So Germans are certainly ahead when it comes to that.
An anti-tank battery is ready for deployment.
And all these tanks and machine guns are just keeping the Americans pinned. It's just going to be pushed up safely when there's a Pack 40 and a Panzer 4J looking in that general direction. Because they don't really have any infantry support at the moment. They're very difficult. Looks like the recon team got spotted here. Got mowed down in their retreat. We have an A2 Sherman. And I do see a lack of German AT apart from the Pilfered Bazooka. We also have a tank arriving here. Is that a Panzer 4? Yep, that's a Panzer 4G. Unique to like the I'm pretty sure. Can be loaded with high explosives and switch between them. Which is pretty handy. Not a lot of German vehicles can do that. Makes the G give the Leichter Division a very clear edge when dealing with allied infantry formations. Who's just waiting back here. We also have 2G arriving here to hold the front line for the Wehrmacht. Alongside some Panzergrenadier of the Großdeutschland Panzerdivision. Unique recon and elite infantry that you can only have one of at the field at a time. They have actually recon, light infantry, and Panzergrenadiers at the same time. So they can do a lot of stuff, but you can only have one of them at the field at a time, as I've said. So they are very limited in where you can have them. They also be equipped to deal with most things. Good took out a Stuart, but he got hit by an AT gun. Good has to pull back. We do an A2 shipment at the summertime, but there's like no cover over here. Like all this is wide open terrain. Very wide open map in some places, but also very narrow in others. Like you cannot really move through here in the center at all. It's just completely blocked, and the Germans are just going to keep digging in. But the southern flank is just going to get completely locked down, I think. Blue and Grey pushing up, but they get suppressed immediately because they're like poor quality infantry. The higher quality infantry it is in their training, the what's the word? The harder it is to basically cause them to get suppressed. Poor quality infantry will get suppressed almost instantly. And the Blue-Grey are considered very poor quality infantry. Hit the center is trying to get shots in, and actually get a penetration. We also have a light infantry gun, doing its work. More Wallonians arriving here with some Storm Grenadier and some Storm Pioneer. But the Allies certainly have a little bit of an issue here. Germans also pushed up down over here briefly, I missed that. And yeah, Allies don't really have anything out in the open that can fight a Panzer IV like this. I suppose the A2 Sherman can if he gets lucky here. No penetration there. And the Germans decide to pull back briefly. Zook pushes up. Oh, engine burning, but it does take out the Stuart. Light infantry gun is also just applying a lot of pressure. Panzer 4J also present. Penetration under Stuk, forcing it to pull back further. Oh, Panzer 4J taken out. Blue and Grey is going to make a move, but there's still the MG34 and some Stormtroopers now with full Sturmgewehr. And they mow them down really quick, as you can see. We also have an MG42 here manned by some Storm Pioneers. And the Americans are certainly not doing too well either. Southern flank, it is looking a little bit more quiet as the Germans just keep digging in. Like, look at all these fortifications. I suppose in the case you do get pushed back, you do have a fallback position, but it's not really helping your team currently, but it's needs, I suppose. I don't see the Americans really having an easy time pushing forwards here. They are getting more and more Sherman. Actually, that's an M10, not a Sherman. No Sherman on the northern flank yet, but I think the Americans definitely need it. Yeah, seeing 182 Sherman being queued up. Or mortar surviving here for the Germans now. They've been called in by the Lieutenant. At least he's intended to. His cover is gone now. And look at all these German infantry just holding up here. Even have an Ostwind in the back. I think the Germans have this handled. We also have an American sniper, but he got killed. I believe the United States sniper is unique to US rifle. I think that's the only way you can actually get a sniper normally for the United States. Well, I suppose if you're airborne, you can also get one from the airborne camp, I'm pretty sure, but that's about it. Rangers digging with a Ranger camp here, actually. Majors back here with a retreat point and some medics. They can treat to anyone who's wounded when they come back. Definitely not looking too good here for the United States. Germans just keep digging in. Like, I'm still surprised at all of this. Like, what are the Germans doing with all this? What are the Jaegers gonna do? Are you just being in reserve for now? M10 is trying to take some hot shots. But there is a pack. I don't think the M10 wants to try and engage with. Oh! You have the Nisei, or Nisei? I'm not sure how you pronounce it. But these are the American-Japanese infantry troops, armed fully with Thompsons at the moment. Very neat. Command Panzer IV can take some shots here to 57. Come across this canyon or valley. And the Germans are just holding on here still. And Nisei, unique battle group of 2 United States tank destroyer. Very intriguing unit.
We lost an anti-tank gun.
There'll be a lot going on but them just exchanging artillery fire. You see an American mortar here arriving from the Rangers. The M2 60mm, so the small mortar, which you can get from the Ranger camp as we can see, but that looks like a big shit. Ah! The Germans have a full-on howitzer now. Yeah, that's gonna make it difficult. That's one of the advantages of playing Sturm in a team game, because Sturm can get good artillery options for the Waffen-SS. Artillery called in. Germans are certainly applying a lot of pressure here with all this artillery. Oh boy. So many shells. Killing one of the tank destroyers, or tank hunters rather. Was it the Germans trying to push up down here? They need to take that 80 gun. Only one of these units have a Panzerfaust. They do manage to get it off. Smoke landing, Rangers are pushing. And Rangers are definitely very aggressive. No, these are not Rangers. These are the unique riflemen to tank destroyer, which use shotguns, by the way. The model is not incorporated yet. It's the M1 Garand model. Or icon anyway. But the shotguns are very effective when they can get hits. So the Americans are getting a lot of equipment here. At least they're gonna try and push through, but it's not easy. So they pushed one of the folks gonna use back. Now they need to take out that 80 gun. Well, Pineapple's going out. Pineapple does clear out the 80 gun. But the Pioneers might just move to recruit it. And up here, they're still trying to push up, and the Americans are losing ground. Panzer IV is also pushing up here, including the command tank. 28 for doing their best, but Gewaltaladung coming their way. And that kills them off. Pioneers now grab the pack again. Rangers did not really push up alongside the assault, evidently. They only sent one Sherman. But they do manage to decrew the 80 gun again. So I think the Rangers could still manage to get in there and do some work if they want. Panzer 48 pushing up here. There's a lot of American AT guns. Again, you can see like the height difference doesn't make do anything here. Despite them, in theory, not being able to actually hit because of the hill. They still can because of game mechanics. More Rangers in the field here with a slow fire BAR and a bazooka. They miss. We also have artillery called in here by the Hauptmann when he gets hit by a light infantry gun. Actually, that's a pack horse, my bad. We also have a Scots. Lots of artillery shells landing around. Been a very brutal fight up there. Down here, it's also been a fairly brutal fight, but it's a little more static, I think. So the Germans are regrouping though and falling back from the first defensive line. They're going to set up for the second defensive line potentially. But the Americans are not keen on pushing yet. But Germans arriving from the north now, including some Panzer Grenadiers of the 2nd SS. Unique to Sturm tactics. I rarely see them though. People always go for auto units than the Panzer Grenadiers if you're playing a Sturm. Focus on the flank here, that might be risky. Well, so far it seems to be working out for it. That is honestly surprising. And the Stuk dies. But there it goes. The Stuk goes. Scott is definitely trying to provide a lot of suppressive fire here. Or supporting fire, rather. And the 54 is getting overrun. They take out the light infantry gun. Howitzers are still firing. And they're loading another shell. At least they're taking aim. There we go. Right around here, very smart. The Americans are digging in with Czech hedgerows. Or Czech hedgehogs. I'm not sure that's the best move at the moment. As it's also going to deny their own vehicles the ability to just throw. Looks like the machine guns also keeping the Germans suppressed. That 30 caliber is pulling back from all the artillery. I believe shotguns are not war crimes, but the Germans did try to make them war crimes in World War I. But it's not a war crime as far as I know. The Americans still have been able to really push down here, but the shells are hitting the first defensive line. We do have a Panther tank arriving over the Light Division. We even have some that's some American recon actually. They probably now realize there's a Panther here.
Listen up. Here's the deal.
Malonian battle group arriving here alongside an SS sniper. I believe the SS sniper is unique to SS Sturm. So the Valonians is going to be sacrificial here to keep the Americans at bay. Ooh, and that's the Valonians. Meanwhile, the SS sniper is doing his best here with his scope Gewehr 43. But the blue and gray is getting close to him. That's a pineapple on him. Oh, he's not moving. And that's a dead sniper. A lot of years training wasted.
Ready. Go ahead.
There's a lot of other gases that are not mustard that are as lethal. Chlorine gas is a perfect example. Yeah, it's not about range karma here saying like mustard gas is not the only lethal gas. There's a lot of lethal gases. Grenades going in here on the Hauptmann. Force him to pull back, very nice. Looks like one more German machine gun managed to get through before the area got decaptured. Americans have lost a lot of ground though. And vehicles.
Armor ready.
They're trying to make their vehicles go somewhere else because
Tank support is
the
here.
Allies are certainly not having a decent time pushing, but they do have all these pack houses that seem to be doing something.
Just got a report of an infantry unit being
Well, the Panther's still on the southern flank here. They need to be a little bit more cautious with its positioning. They want to drive over their perfect little roadblock. And 10 arriving here. The Rangers are also preparing to push by the looks of it. Panther just holding down the main road alongside a pack and some pioneers. And 10 driving up. Need some support though. Taking a long range shot at the pan for not doing anything. Yeah, M10 needs to be... M10 does have a long fire range now, but doesn't have the highest penetration, and especially not against the front of a Panther of all things. Panther is pretty damn well armored. More American infantry pushing up here. Germans have a lot of infantry around. We do have the Sturm Tiger. And that's certainly gonna be able to cause a lot of issues for the Allies, I think. We also have a Tiger tank driving up behind. The German heavy armor is now arriving. Machine gun trying to do its best here, as the Germans are currently scavenging everything they can. But a Sturm Seeker here will definitely cause issues. The shotgun armed troops are getting some shots in. Oh, killing one of the Sturm Grenadiers. Jaeger troops are trying to push up to hold the front line. Shotgun shells are hitting near them though. Do some good stuff against the Germans in cover.
Rear echelon troops on the front line.
Oh, looks like we have an penetration happening here in the Panther. This is the Panther A, so it doesn't have as high frontal armor as the other Panther variants. Also, German infantry is pushing to the front line now though. Rangers need to push up and get behind cover, I think. And lots of mortar shells too from the Jaegers here. Just a lot of mortars, holy shit. East side pushing up here and getting killed. I believe that this side actually eases the hits to showcase that they kind of got into some pretty harsh situations, as I understand. But also earned a lot of Medal of Honors. I think the east side are a very well decorated company or regiment. Actually, division, that's the name, division. I'm not the best at military terminology, but I apologize. Oh, M10 might get shot here by the... Oh, it jammed the turret of the Panther, but it should probably have started moving after that. It's not the Panther cannot move its turret. Rangers are pushing up here, but they're getting mowed down out in the open. Smoke pops, so those Rangers are just going to get mowed down, as you can see. So much German cover fire. And we have the Tiger tank pushing up here. Don't see it has taken a shot evidently. I missed that. There's so much action going on here. Little armor pieces have been prepared by the United States, but that's gonna be a hard sell against the front of that Tiger. In a like small little way they can get in. They cannot really outflank it. Germans also keeping the Bruce Deutschland nearby. By providing it with some very good infantry support and good side range because they are recon infantry. They can basically reveal everything. Oh, we have Rangers on the flank here, destroying one of the command tanks. 76 Germans trying to take shots. Tiger can almost see it though. Very well active, took it out there. The American infantry is slowly getting pushed back. Until being called in. Sturm Tiger could take a shot. Oh, they don't have enough munitions to fire it. Had to be loaded rather. It's costly to do that. And Tiger Tank is just slowly taking out the Shermans one by one. And suddenly we have a King Tiger arriving here on the side. Oh, the Allies are in big trouble. All the armor presence here has just been collapsed entirely. And now there's a King Tiger ready to push. Tiger Tank and King Tiger working together. I don't think the Allies can stop this unless they do something really drastic. But suddenly the Germans just have the overpowering weaponry here. Stormtroopers also pushing up here with their Sturmgewehr. They are on the open though. But light cover after the destroyed ground is helping. They're also really not fighting good quality infantry. I don't think the Stormtroopers want to stay there for too long. There's some more Volksgrenadiers coming up behind. As well as some officers, the Hauptmann calling in more artillery. You notice the Allies have set up a lot of Czech hedgehogs. But the artillery is destroying a fair few of them. The Allies are just in full retreat right now.
Ready for action.
Big artillery in return though. Now the southern flank, the Panther slowly creeping up with some more German supports. Not looking too good here. Americans do have the... Oh, what's this one called? The Jackson. Armed with a 90mm gun, the same one as the Pershing. Actually, pretty damn good weapon for dealing with Panthers. He's just start up for a shot here. Doesn't penetrate though. And gets shot in return. He needs to be cautious with the Jackson. You cannot see the Jackson though. Jackson missed. They need to take out that Panther somehow. Meanwhile, the German armor is ready to push up here still. Getting some more Panzer 4J supports. Sturmtiger also reloaded. Well, what can the Allies do here to stop this? As the Tigers are just slowly moving forwards. So those Sherman 76ers are being prepared. Will that be enough? So the Panther did go down here thanks to the Jackson and the M10. Is that? So it's just... This front line is a little bit far apart. And a lot of action is happening. Need to keep an eye on this German Panzer push. Range guns are somewhat keeping them just stuck there for now, but will not last forever. German armor is very bunched up here, but there's a lack of things to fight it. Like a tank leading away. Yes, there's not a lot here. Sturmtiger firing. Oh! Oh, that's brutal. Like, honestly, despite the nerf and the slow time, it's not a big nerf for it at all. It's still very effective in team games, as you can see. If you time it right and just position it well, you can do so much damage. They're pulling it back for repairs, good to, not repairs, for reload, good to see. Americans are bringing in a lot of AT guns now in desperation. But the Großdeutschland just remains around to keep the tanks secured. That's a lot of 57 AT guns coming up. Because of a Panther coming onto the fields. Germans don't stand a chance here. Panzer 4J is taking shots and just getting destroyed there.
We have lost contact with a heavy tank.
Bang. Ooh, Tiger lost his gunner. Ooh, and the Tiger is having big issues. Has to pull back. Oh! Is that a Jackson? Yeah, the Jackson move up for the King Tiger. Oh, the King Tiger is dead! Very nice there from the tank destroyers. Clutch. A clutch defense there. That's the power of the United States tank destroyers being very flexible and mobile to get around and support. I think that's actually how they were organized in the actual war. They were relocated to where they were needed rapidly. Jackson took out another Panzer IV there. Jackson is really good, by the way. That 90mm gun can really give the Germans a run for their money. The rest of the American front line is just lacking in units now. Another King Tiger being prepared. Well, the Germans are securing ground on the southern flank again. We have a command Panther arriving. But the Rangers have a machine gun up here. They also have double jumbo now being present. Looks like they're gonna focus everything on the north. Try and push the German armor back. It's not gonna be easy, mind you. But probably doable thanks to the Jacksons. They have several Jacksons now for support, actually. 2 Jacksons. Which could be a lot of firepower the German Panzers are not prepared for. And this Tiger might be in trouble. Yeah, that's one good shot there. Do not underestimate the Jackson. Sturmtiger's not reloaded yet, it should probably be pulled further back. Packhouse is doing their best. Artillery coming in here now from the German howitzer. We also have a jumbo around here for one of the other rangers. We have a push here from the Light Division. Pushing up with some officers from the Jägers. Man-Panther in the way. The Americans just don't have any AT equipment on here. They just have some AT guns that are slowly being killed. Americans might need to relocate one of the Jacksons quick. And that does seem to be happening. Just got up here. Jumbo arriving here on the northern flank. Also the southern flank Jumbo is relocating down there. The Panther will have issues fighting the Jumbos frontally, I think. Because Jumbo is very heavily frontally armored. I think it's about the same armor as the Panther. Actually, 50 more points. It's not a big difference, but that really showcases how armored this Sherman is. Panther still has a better gun, though, as we can see. But the Panther gun is pretty good. It's very high velocity. Even able to pierce the front of these Jumbos. Tiger tank moving up now. Trying to take out this Jumbo, took it out there. Jackson's gonna take a shot. Doesn't penetrate. Be cautious though, we have another King Tiger arriving. Engine burning on the Tiger tank. And Jackson's are slowly just creeping forwards. Tiger tank taken out. Here's the King Tiger. Germans are securing the top of the hill now. Oh boy, like so many tank wrecks now up here. Where's the Jacksons? They are still present. But the Germans have secured a lot more ground. Germans are probably getting up for them to push down here if they can. Let's hold the Jäger infantry. There they are. No real armor for the Jägers though. They're playing a little bit more infantry based in support by looks of it. Americans are trying to push up here, but there's a lot of Germans stuck in. Panzergrenadiers and everything. As well as the King Tiger, obviously. Good artillery strikes. Jackson's gonna go for a shot, I think. Nope. That's against it. Ooh, that might be a problem there for this Jackson. You know where the King Tiger is now. Doom Tiger's taking a shot. Oh, you cancel it. Realize that's probably better suited elsewhere. King Tiger pushing forwards. Not a good idea into Jacksons. Oh, it's scouting and keeping vision for the Storm Tiger. There it goes. I didn't hit too much. Probably was intended for the Jackson, but the Jackson already got killed. We have a priest now arriving here for the Rifle Company. Mobile howitzers for the United States. Available to Rifle Company. But I feel the United States cannot keep up this rate of attrition munitions-wise. Because the Germans are getting way more supplies to work with. Another Panther being called in as well. On the southern flank, the command Panthers having a big overwatch position of this road. Double Jumbos just sitting around doing nothing at the moment. Okay, the priests are doing their best. Playing a sermon. Looks like the Storm Tiger's already being reloaded. That was quick. Both sides are just content to shelling each other for now. Evidently. Just reaffirming my seat. Americans are pushing a little bit up here with AT guns and some infantry. Actually just recruiting AT guns. Now that's a lot of AT guns here, even for this King Tiger. If just some of them have penetrate, that's gonna do something. Oh! Storm Tiger shot! Ouch! I just cancelled all that work most of the Americans did to recruit all those AT guns. And now this King Tiger's moving with some SS support. Keep an eye on the flank though for that Jackson. For the Storm, Grenadiers and the Stormtroopers are moving up. Using a lot of their equipment. Oh, high explosive there, just hit the ground. Blue and Grey being suppressed. Panther now arriving as well. Well, we do have a Scott here up here that's been very cheeky. I completely missed that. It's actually done a lot of work, hasn't it? Only 8 kills, but it's doing some work. Priest also doing a lot of work already. Germans not really pushing on the southern flank yet. We have a Panzer rifle firing out here in the open where the Americans just spread around. Doesn't do too much damage though. King Tag and Panthers holding up here still. Jackson's got an M10's taking a shot through the mountain. Because as we know, because height difference doesn't matter in Company of Heroes 2, you can just shoot through the hills apparently. I believe that's not a thing in Company of Heroes 3 where height does actually matter. Which would be good. Panther took a shot there. Ooh. Penetration there on the King Tiger. Decides he wants to pull back. Oh, Panther also took a penetrating shot. Like, it's so cheeky you can do this. That takes out the Panther. Yeah, it's not looking good here now for the Americans still. But the Germans are losing a fair few of their heavy armor that they're calling in. I believe the Germans are actually lacking in infantry support for the most part now. At least the Panzer Division is. Get the infantry up there. Oh, mortar taken out. The priests are doing a lot of work. We have another Panzerwerfer arriving here. They're shilling the southern flank again. Dallas just sitting around out in the open ground. Not really doing much. But the Germans are not really pushing on the southern flank either, so it's it's a little bit back and forth. Oh, looks like the Germans are transporting the troops with open blitzers to the other flank. That's the thing you can do in larger maps for cheap, so just get them moving there to the other flank quickly. We also have a Panther arriving for the Jaegers. They actually get the best version of the Panzer, or Panther, the G, with infrared scopes as well, so that's a very cool thing for it. Allies are doing their best to keep the Germans at bay. The Suga have pilfered here from the Hauptmann, or at least a command team. 3 Panzer IV J's being prepared. Not the Achilles, the M10 is just waiting down here still. Another Jackson. Only a Jackson down here. So that's actually, this M10 has done a lot of work for now, just to a little bit of a nuisance. Might haven't gotten a lot of kills, but it does damage the vehicles, and that's enough to force it to back off. Have shots going through the center here, as the Germans take a pulled on the mountain, evidently. Oh, mortars hit them though. It's so awkward, I can just shoot down here like this. Very, very awkward. But the mortars is also trying to do their best here. King Tiger and several Panzer IV J's are present. And then is gonna try and get some shots out, I think, if he can get sight. It's just very awkward here. King Tiger's trying to lead the way again. That Scott is in trouble. Yep, Scott taken out, but they do take out that building. Some more race funds arriving, probably to try and grab all the AT guns. And some force has slowly been taken out by this M10.
We got a new unit ready and on the field.
This is so awkward. This King Tiger's got to be hit by a lot of things. A lot of the calibers are not really intended to fight it. If just some of them penetrate, they'll do a lot of damage. Soon Tiger firing. Shot. One penetration does happen though, doing a minimal damage. The engine, evidently. M10 is certainly the biggest threat. Also, the Panzer, the King Tiger decides to pull back briefly. M10 is so focusing on the Panzer Force. Don't see that being reloaded yet, don't have the munitions. Oh, Jackson is now present. And that's gonna be a very big gun. The Panzer Force is just dying here. Oh, no penetrations this time. But a 105 Sherman could kill that. King Tiger's gonna take a shot soon, I think. Still needs to be repaired for its engine damage. Still no pushing down here. Not sure what the Jaegers are doing on top of the mountain here, but it's something. They're trying to reload the Sturmtiger. Reloading it fairly fast thanks to their veterancy. Just using the American AT guns. King Tiger's ready to move again. It's actually veterancy free now. That's a very scary King Tiger now. Of course, with the veterancy Tiger tank arriving here thanks to the Kampfkraft Center. Being able to survive as veteran is pretty damn powerful. And a second Tiger coming up as well. We're gonna have like a full team of Tigers here. Full mobility lost on the Panzer IV. That's going to be mobilized shortly. That gets taken out. Not sure by what.
We have lost contact with a heavy tank. Achtung, be ready.
Median's time to scavenge it. Good to see. Oh, Germans are pushing down here. Command Panther and the Light Division pushing up. Trying to push the Americans back. Oh, penetration from the Jumbo. Then the Germans decide to pull back again. We get a little bit more territory though. And the Americans are getting somewhat overstretched here, I think. What can the Americans do here? Like, it's certainly looking bad.
The squad of pioneers has arrived.
The Germans are just able to do like Kampfkraft Center stuff if they remember to do it. It would mean all their stuff could like get to full veterancy at this point in the 4v4. Well, not full veterancy, but veterancy free. Literally everything they just buy, they'd be veterancy free off the gate. Which can be a very huge deal in like a long team game, by the way. Can help mitigate some of the attrition.
Standing by.
The Americans are just holding on here, still the best they can. Just pushing again. Oh! Jackson moved out to take care of that Command Panther. The Americans are actually being supply capped here on some of the players, especially Captain Curry here. Captain Curry, actually. They'll get a lot more units out, probably some Shermans if they wanted, or even a howitzer. Depends on what they want to do, in all honesty. But it might just be, they might be just a little bit too focused because of all the big fighting going on. The lack of cover on the southern flank is definitely noteworthy. German Panzer Force is ready to move again. Panzer March. Sturmtiger bellows the sounds the horn to advance. The King Tiger could lead the way. Yep, taking down one Jackson there. Now the Tigers can push up alongside. I personally think the King Tiger should lead the way simply because there's more frontal armor. The Tiger's frontal armor is actually not that impressive at this stage of the war. It's still better than the Shermans, but it's gonna be penetrated a lot easier. Even trying to focus them down. I think the King Tiger could probably still stay there to just provide some firepower. Eagle's just up on the mountain now. That division slowly creeping up still.
Armor here.
Not looking good here for the Rangers on the southern flank. They probably don't really know what to do in this situation. It is a very different and difficult situation to be in, so... Americans are still holding on. Let's see, we have another Panther coming up for the Panzer Division. Jackson taking pot shots at the Panther up on the top there.
Send your orders.
Which I think is actually a problem for that Panther. So far though, the Jackson is missing. No more flags are being placed. Big fighting up here still. Panzer Pouch. So bazookas though, and 80 guns present. Oh, that Tiger might be in trouble. Oh, bazooka penetrates. One Tiger down. Oh, and we have another penetration there. King Tiger might be in trouble. Smoke popped. Set to pull back. More smoke pops. We need to get those Tigers operational again. Oh! 76 German takes out the King Tiger, I think. 180 gun did, but ooh, Sturm Tiger in retaliation. Killing a huge swath of the Americans. 185 kills. That's the power of the Sturm Tiger right there. Americans losing so much equipment. And the Germans are scavenging everything they can immediately. That's very good. Needs to get a lot of fuel back. Not that they need the fuel back at the moment. They have plenty of fuel, which is very un-German of them. Panthers on the high ground here. Light division is just holding the ground. Panthers are arriving. Go for the Panzer Division. And more vehicles are being destroyed on the American side. Guess there's some more infantry to push up with. Ooh, there's still a 3-inch gun on the side here of the Tiger. Getting his front to the 80 gun, but it still gets penetrated. Comes some smoke to fall back. Recon up on the hill here, getting some good sight here on the United States as the M10 tries to take pot shots at the Panthers. But the Panthers are just not really caring. Firefight down here, Jumbo taken out quickly. More Czech Hedgehogs were prepared on the main road. Oh, good shot there on the Jackson, I think. Yeah, that's a Jackson. Man Panthers is slowly creeping up. Taking out the Jackson, actually. Not looking good here. And the Allies lack stuff to fight this command Panther at the moment. At least on the southern flank. The Germans gonna use the Czech Hedgehogs for cover. They only count as light cover though, by the way, so they're not the best. Oh! Oh, I think the pack howitzers hit it with heat shells.
We lost a gun crew.
But the Rangers can actually outfight them here somewhat, which is surprising. Because the Rangers are behind no cover. Might be all the other support fire from up there too. Man Panther's ready again though. It's repaired rapidly due to this repair station. Beasts are still doing their thing. The Germans have a second howitzer now. Close to the front line. They destroyed the old one? I guess the old one did get destroyed. I must have missed that. They just were focusing on counter barraging. Somewhat. Wimton getting hit there by a Panther. Coming some smoke. Panther heads up. Oh, heat rounds are ready. That's it, doesn't like heat rounds, it's a hollow charge. Oh, penetration there from 3-inch. Second Panther gonna be arriving here for the Light Division. Get another King Tiger arriving here for the Panzer Division. So many heavy armor pieces here. At least on the German side. It's not looking good for the Allies. Honestly, I don't really see how they can turn this around, and they're just standing out in the open field. So the Germans are like digging in with the sandbags as they push up and putting down the sanitation stations. There's some Panzergrenadiers on the northern flank here, throwing a great assault at the Scots. I don't think we'll do much to it. Yeah, didn't really do much at all. Boomty gets reloading. Up to 199 kills. They're thinking of ridiculous. Oh, looks like the Jaeger Panthers are also ready to move. A little bit of a difficult terrain to drive on, evidently. They've already upgraded with side skirts and infrared scopes, so that's going to give them quite an edge in most combat. I can do 2 Sherman 76s, but that's not going to be enough. We have another Jackson arriving though. Queen's going penetrates. Got taken out up there though. Be a target for this Sturmtiger. I think firing it over here would probably be a good idea. Tigers and Panthers moving up on high explosive shells. And take out the AT gun. They succeed. Sturmtiger's waiting for an opportune target. And the high explosive kills another AT gun. Tiger tank driving up, wants to take out that Jackson, I think. That's a very hard sell though. Well, that's a huge shell. That might be from a long Tom. Bazooka hits the Tiger. Sturmtiger's fine.
We've lost a squad of infantry.
Oh, they cancelled it, I think. Oh, there it goes. Easy enough. Panther taking some big shots there. Lots of bazookas on the American front line now. And Longton are firing in. 1 Panther down.
A medium tank was destroyed.
German 76 is driving up now. But the Panther has good sight on it.
Prepare yourself.
The Light Division could start push down here. There's a lot of 80 guns and Shermans though. The Panzer rockets are coming in. Oh, clearing out most of the 80 guns. I mean, the Panthers gonna make their move. The Hedgehogs on the way though. They have to drive around them. Ooh, looking a little bit bad here for the Americans still. Hollow charge might be loaded now. Yeah, hollow charges are loaded up. It's good shots there. The Sherman should take advantage though. Command Panther down though. On the north flank, the other King Tiger has arrived. With even more Tiger tanks coming up behind as well.
Our soldiers are trained to advance rapidly.
There's a searchlight coming out here for the Germans to give some sight on the Americans. Not sure how much it'll reveal in all honesty. Other Panther pushing up. Now this is the bad Panther though. This is only the Panther A, so its armor's not as impressive. Neither is its speed. It's actually quite slow for a Panther. But so far it's holding up. Bazookas hit it though. One more Fox Grenadiers on the field. Sturmtiger and Panzer 4 here.
Panzer 4 deployed. Awaiting orders.
And the Germans really need some infantry though to push ahead and spot. Like, the Allies with great sacrifice still keeping them at bay, but it's just... I think at this point it's mostly just delaying the inevitable. It's hard to say. Because they can rebuke the German attacks, but they can't really make a counter-attack by the looks of it. Especially not when the southern flank is also being threatened here. That Panther A is definitely being hit hard. No good penetration. The Shermans are actually going to push. Gonna try and hunt down the Panther A. Smoke popped. A risk maneuver for these Shermans, especially with the Panther still having a good gun. It's still the same gun as the later Panther versions. So it's a pretty good gun on it for all intents and purposes. One more heavy armor present here for the Wehrmacht. Jackson also still taking long range shots here. The frontal armor, the Panther just doesn't care. As you can see, just clinging right off. Doomseeker, oh, pretty good shot taken out of Jackson. It's got that penetration on the King Tiger. Minimal damage though. It's been a really long match. Really long Meatgrinder here. But the Allies, I think, are just trying to hold them back with what little they have. Long time Soviet have ammunition to keep firing. Oh, Panzer IV pushed up hard. I honestly think getting Panzer IVGs might be a better choice. No, wait, they're not playing a Sturm. Not like that. I also think like to get some Panzer IVGs to push up on the northern flank to help deal with all the 80 guns and such. Probably supplement the heavier armor pretty well, but the Panther down here is doing a decent job. Slowly creeping up, but they're losing a lot of infantry in their attempts. Oh, penetrations, the Shermans are pushing. No, but looks like the Allies surrender at this point. I suppose it makes sense. They've been kind of bruised and brawled for most of the game at this point. Well, more than half. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this Meatgrinder, and I'll see you in the next one, everyone. Bye-bye.